discuss early life, and we will have two talks as Axel said, Natalia could not come. So the first talk is given by AB2 Seppanen on autogenesis, autocatalysis, and autosemiosis.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, my topic is, as can be seen, autogenesis, autocatalysis, and autosemiosis, the universal first principles of self, life, and mind. Well, this is not precisely a paper in astronomy, biology, or bioastronomy, but rather on a theory, a universal theory of self, universal theory of life, and universal theory of mind. And it is a part of my research project, ongoing project, which was started in 1991. As a part of history and philosophy of science and technology and the scientific worldview and human conception. This is, the Unified Science project in the 30s, the Vienna Circle, which was based on logical empirism, but which failed. So I'm not going to that anymore. I only mentioned, but my approach is the same in spirit, but not in philosophy, but in science proper. That is the history and philosophy of all sciences, and the unified science, not only unified theory as we have the standard theory of cosmology and particle physics of the fundamental forces of physics. Unified science comprises not only of physics, but also chemistry, biology, neurology, psychology, linguistics, communication, and culture. That is a true unified science. Of course, it's a big thing, but I am developing a system of concepts, conceptual systems and theories. And there are two great problems facing science still after 2000 years, two gaps, as C.P. Shaw identified in 1950 in his lecture given at the Royal Society, stating that there are two disparate fields in science, or camps, natural sciences and human sciences, which have no connection. There is no explanation of life, even within natural sciences. How does non-living differ from living, or rather vice versa? There is no causal explanation for this question. No scientific explanation, not even definition for life. This was stated in Reykjavik 1 month ago, confessed by NASA. But here I have autocatalysis as a system science, as a new system science, among a number of others, maybe some 10 classical and modern system science. Autocatalysis is one of them. based on a single principle, as we have in chemistry, in nuclear physics, in computer programming, and elsewhere. It is a universal principle. Not only chemical, even physics, nuclear physicists don't use that term, but they work with problems which underlie autocatalysis and autosemiosis, which already raised the question what it is all about. And actually it's a term I have coined but not invented. It was invented in literary sciences some 11 years ago by Lovecraft, novelist, US novelist, or rather his literary criticist. Anyway, it is a generalization of semiotics, and even semiotics is quite unknown, although we have had one course on exosemiotics in Finland at Helsinki University, given by Kyösti Ruokonen. Ryynänen. Yes, but semiotics is a well-established field of human sciences, an extension of semantics in linguistics and in philosophy. The term semiotic was introduced by John Locke already in the 16th century, 17th century, and Charles Peirce founded the modern semiotics. Okay, so, and my paper analyzes and explains these three concepts and how they relate to life, especially to life, but of course this is much more wider concept than life only, autosemiotics, because it is also a cosmic phenomenon. It is on all levels of the cosmos, autosemiosis, but in different fields of science, different terms are used about it. For instance, well, I will sort of come up just in a minute. And these papers are my research reports on this topic. And unified science is the leading star, and system sciences are the methodology. And the problem is missing. The title is missing. This is life and life science. Okay, and including evolution, of course. You will be given handout tomorrow. I forgot to copy them. I had some yesterday evening. Our copy machine makes these transparencies, but now Harry arranged them in 5 minutes. So I'm happy. Thanks to Harry. So let us go to the, well, maybe I first show you the title pages of these three topics, each of which I have a report, some 30 to 50 pages. This is mixology. It is also a term of my coinage for the theory, universal or unified theory of self. What is self all about? How selves come into being, how do they disappear? Whatever self. Let it be an electron, an atom, molecule, or man, a star, a galaxy. So it is a general concept, a systems theoretical concept. And then the second one, this is has to do with autogenesis, the genesis of self. And then autocatalysis, this is the the fundamental principle of life and the history, main figures in the history of life, and there is no biologist. There is one chemist. The rest are physicists. Well, Nicholas Leonard is a chemist, sorry. Arrhenius, Wilhelm Kühne, yes, he is a chemist. And there's a history of catalysis before catalysis in the 19th century. And I had a paper on this topic, not a paper but abstract and poster at the Reykjavik conference months ago. And then we have the third topic, autosemiosis. And this is, as you can read here, self-reflection as a universal principle on all levels, on the cosmic level, on the geophysical and planetary level, perhaps you can say. This is the galaxy, the local group galaxies, and then in the center there is our Milky Way spot. And then self-reflection in biology, that is the phylogenetic tree. This is tree of knowledge, and also tree of family trees, historical, which began in Egypt, of the Pharaoh families. And then we have man and neurology, and the reflection of the endo, or the family, not family, but the body parts, and how do we call this, proprioception, how the functionality of the human body are reflected in the brain, proportionally. And then actual reflection, this means that how human beings think about the world, the cosmos. This is of course Stonehenge, and astronomy, world view. And then comes culture and technology, also a reflection of man. All cultural things are reflections of man. In fact, this is a reflection of me, because I'm operating it. Engineers have designed it as an extension to man, and it happens to be a reflector, which reflects my thought on this lecture to the audience, and also reflection. And you make reflections in your mind, and so on, and you tell about them. So that is a reflection again. This is self-reflection on all levels of the cosmos, from molecule to man, and from man to culture, and so on. Okay. This is abstract thinking, but not empty abstract. This is all based and nothing to do with speculation or metaphysics. It is all science, but it is a unified science which combines natural sciences and human social sciences and cultural studies, everything. That's a history and theory of human mind, because all this happens in human mind. The world view is in human mind. Physicists cannot study the nature. They can study only the view, the picture of nature, which they have in their mind. This was understood first by Kant, who renewed philosophy, modern philosophy, because he understood that everything that man experiences, understands, thinks, speaks, is inside here, not outside. They have no opportunity, unzicht, to perceive the nature as such. So, and this idea was introduced to physics by Ernst Mach. And Mach was the precursor of the Vienna Circle. It was Schlick who founded the Vienna Circle, but before that he founded Ernst Mach Ferrari. And then, after the Vienna Circle, when it had collapsed to Nazi repression by church of the Jews, and the Marxists, Austrian Marxists, and the Second World War. After the war in the United States, the physicists founded unified theory of physics in the 60s. The Standard Theory, the project, which was analogous and continuation of the Vienna Circle philosophical program, because it was Albert Einstein who introduced the term Einheitliche Feldtheorie in 1915, and Einheitstheorie der Gravitation und Elektromagnetism in 1925. And the Vienna Circle adopted the idea of unified theory and extended it into a philosophical program of unified science, comprising not only natural physics and natural science, but all science. Of course, it remained a philosophical program. But now I am pursuing, at least, anybody can do that. A new unified science.
Can I remind you of the time?
Okay.
Focus please on on the essential part of the talk now.
Yes, I have a pretty broad scope and pretty. So I do not expect to be able to explain all this. But you have got a feeling to familiarize with what I'm this is about 1 megabyte of text now in my head. This is a project for 15 years. So I'm trying to compress and, of course, to observe the limit. I have 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. So the universal principles, it is the most important thing, and first of them is causality, discovered by Leucippus already in antiquity. Nothing happens without a cause, and everything that happens in the nature has a cause, or causes perhaps. In general, there are 3 categories of universal principles: the classical physics, and then cosmology and modern physics, and then complexity. Principles of complexity, which is the subject matter of system sciences. It is so-called 5th dimension of the cosmos. We have 4 dimensions in physical space, and the 5th dimension is the complexity of biochemistry, even inorganic chemistry. It's a science of complexity. Not to mention mathematics and computation science is universal computation. Alan Turing and our computers and so on. Okay, classical physics, I'm not going into them. There are quite a many and very important for life, because life is actually a very simple phenomenon on the level of principles. Cosmology and systems sciences. So, the last minute coming, and the last slides, transparency is coming. This is not the first. This one, constitution of the world, levels of autosemiosis. The universe, then we come down from the top down. Cosmos, astronomy, galactic, solar, terrestrial, physical, chemical, biological, neural, mental, language and culture. See, that is all. We don't know, we don't have anything more. Of course we have imagination, but it is part of culture. And it is now represented in Lisp, or in a knowledge and concept language based on Lisp. Lisp is programming language for artificial intelligence, symbolic processing, natural language processing, and for building any kind of symbolic model, including logic, mathematics, and so on, or literature, the internet, and so on. Now is coming the intelligent internet, the semantic web, as we started 4 years ago. We have in Finland on conference in September. So then we can put the cosmic level into pieces, astronomy in the same way. Yes, thank you, I'm coming. Just one more slide of this matter, subject matter. We come to chemistry, we come to biogenesis. It is already the complexity begins, really begins here. And then this is my next talk at the next conference in August in Helsinki on the Finnish Artificial Intelligence Society. I'm the editor and the founder, co-founder of that society. And there I summarize these and still more still more into the mind question. I did not have clearly the time to go, but these are reduced to algebra, very simple algebra. Both life and mind are very simple algebras, as if they are put into minimum formulation, as I already noticed. The same is true with your paper. The minimum, applying the minimum principles and forms of life. And yes, this was it. So here I am.
Thank you very much.
I forgot to mention this, I guess, one is spoiled a little bit. We can either put the drum or leave them here, and you can take us as we go. And I forgot to mention this earlier publication conference paper from 1998 in Liège. What is life? A history of conceptions from myths of creation to artificial life. So this is a real history of science, history of biology, especially conceptions of life. And then here are two publications of the Finnish Artificial Intelligence Society, interested also in other forms of intelligence than human and terrestrial, namely extraterrestrial intelligence and artificial life, machine life.
So
these are for inspection, these are for interested, and this will be finished in a minute. Anybody can order.
we should leave some time for the discussion.
Yes.
I just found when I saw all these heads of the very famous people, except of Lise Meitner, there was no woman in this list. Maybe you should explore the history of science, whether there are also some important women contributing to your science.
I have answer to that.
So,
before other questions, may I answer?
Open for questions.
Because what Lise Meitner discovered was nuclear life, and that the sun is a living being. Well, no, that was Bethe and Weizsäcker. But anyway.
So, questions, comments? Had there been more women, it would have been called Yeah, it comes to my mind that actually it has to do something what you tell us with astrobiology, because astrobiology, I think there's something what actually Lederberg, Nobel Prize winner, said when he termed the term exobiology. He said that in physics, one has found out that all the physical laws are valid throughout the universe. In chemistry, all the chemical reactions are the same on Earth and the same principles and everywhere else. But for life, we have only one example. We have life on Earth, and we don't know whether we can come to a universal definition of life without having more than one form of life. So maybe astrobiology, astrobiology can contribute to the universal definition of life.
Yes, precisely, and it is. I have proved it now and a simply possible form of symbolic multiplied computation of life, of two elements only. In a chemistry which has only two elements, A and B, and after physics, based on physics, minimal physics, which has only one element, A, and the cosmos. That's it. But biologists have the problem, they are lost in the complexity, in the fifth dimension. They can never find life respecting man or even a bacteria, because all too complex, overwhelmingly complex. You cannot find life there.
We need
Only theoretical and systems approach is the only one which can solve it. And it is stated in the preface of this book, which is made precisely specifically for this meeting. It's a compilation of my materials which are relevant.
Okay, if there are no more comments and questions, then I would like to thank you again.
I might still comment on your second point, which was very good, about this physics and chemistry, which also studying life as here. But the life which occurs on the level of nuclear physics and physics, classical physics, there's also life, living systems, and in chemistry, it is exolife, whereas but in a different sense than exobiology. Exolife, in the sense that these systems have no internal life. From bacteria on, even viruses they are exolife. They don't have internal life. Nothing inside. But in bacteria, they have also endolife. They have both exolife and endolife. And exolife is the self-reproduction, and endolife is any function inside, like metabolism.
Okay, I think we can keep that suggestion for the later on discussion,
Yes.
where we start with the definition of the exception of life. Are viruses alive or not? Maybe we can do that at the end of the day. So thank you again, Yuko. And now we